I'm going down to the drugstore, buy a big old skein of yarn. I'm gonna knit me a kitten, even if you don't give a darn.
Good morning. Welcome to episode 134 of the We Are Yarn podcast. My name is Amanda, Mandy Cat on Ravelry and Mandy Cat 509 on Instagram. I think I'm going to cancel my Twitter account because I'm never there. Anyway, so how have you been? Hi. I have quite the tale to tell you today. I know I've been jumping all over the house. Back in the study today. You can see this is the play area back here for my little boy, and he just had his first birthday almost a month ago, and it was a Very Hungry Caterpillar theme, and some of the balloons that I fashioned to look like a Very Hungry Caterpillar are still blown up. Anyway, Pinterest for the win. I'm drinking cold coffee because that's how it rolls when you have a 1-year-old. I'm here. I do not have an FO. I have not been spinning. I haven't spun in the last 10 days since I spoke to you last. I have been working on, I pulled my fizz socks out. These are the socks that I cast the toe on for labor knitting over a year ago. These are my travel knitting now. They live in my purse. Well, okay. I have a couple of purses that I'm schlepping around. Well, I wouldn't even call them my purse knitting. These are my diaper bag knitting. So when I'm out and about and my diaper bag is with me. Anyway, fizz socks. This is Knit Picks Felicia in the Fizz colorway. My nickname in high school was Fizz. Long story. And I think the last time you saw them, we were down in the orange. I just now picked them back up. I'm just doing the, what is it, vanilla latte, not vanilla latte, vanilla bean or something like that. Where you do the little slip stitch business between each stripe, just to keep it interesting. And there's some yellow in this yarn barf, so I think I'm coming up on my next stripe pretty quickly. Socks are really slow going for me now. I think I'm becoming not a sock knitter. I still love my hand knit socks. I love having hand knit socks, but it's just, socks take forever for me. I don't know. The other thing I want to talk to you about, the reason why I'm recording today, is because of this lovely thing called a Boxy by Joji Locatelli. And guys, I'm so thrilled to report it now has, I guess I can take that off now. It now has a neck. Yeah. See the neck, you just do some rolled stockinette at the top. And 2 sleeves. Sleeve 1, sleeve 2. They're only 6 inches long for my size, the sleeves. So they go very quickly. And then this. Okay, so the reason I'm recording is because I want you to learn from my mistake. Whenever you're about to delve into anything new in knitting, in your craft, even if it's something that sounds mundane, as I'm just going to pick back the cast on edge and, you know, pick it back to X, wherever, and then knit it back down. Things you need to know about doing that. 1, if you're going to pick up stitches and straight knit from stockinette to stockinette, your stitches, your little V's, are going to be offset because you were knitting this way, now you're knitting that way, and they're going to look wonky, okay? That's why I had planned to pick up, knit a purl bump, and then knit my ribbing back down. You remember I was doing this because my ribbing was curling and it was making me angry. So I was just, and the ribbing was kind of short. Like when I put it on and even when I laid it down, my husband went, that ratio is not right. It needs to be a little bit longer. So I'm probably going to knit it about twice as long as it was. It was 4 or 5 rows, and I'm going to knit 10 or so rows of ribbing, which is significant when your diameter is that big, right? Okay, so what I did, since the ribbing is knitted on a smaller size needle anyway, I used my smaller size needle, and I went back and I picked up all my stitches. You can see thusly. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, I picked up all my stitches, and it was marvelous. Marvelous. Well, so I was about halfway done with one of my sleeves, third of the way done with one of my sleeves, and I was working last night in the position where I knew I would have time to knit in between orders coming down to the pharmacy. If you don't know, I'm a pharmacist, but I work in a hospital. I do not work out. I'm not like, when you think pharmacist, that's not me. Used to be, but it's not me anymore. What I do now is I work in a hospital in the inpatient pharmacy. And people are always surprised to find out that pharmacists work in hospitals in this way. I don't know why. But so one of the things that a pharmacist does in a hospital, every single order that a doctor writes for medication has to go through a pharmacist before it can be dispensed. If it's an emergency situation, it can be overridden by the nurse to get out of the med server, I call it the med vending machine, right? But even the medication vending machine knows what your allergies and all are, just to make sure they're not going to kill you with your allergy, at least. Anyway, so last night I was working the shift where I sat and just waited on orders to come to the pharmacy. And there's always a lull around 6:30 to 7:30. Shift change for the nurses happens at 7. And generally during shift change, anybody that's not a nurse avoids the nurses' stations like it's the plague, physicians and all. So I knew I would have a little bit of a lull to maybe get a little knitting done. So I picked my stitches up around the bottom before I went to work because I knew that was something that I needed to focus on. So I did that. And while I was at work, I was able to finish my other sleeve, and then I was like, yay, now I'm just going to pull back this cast on edge and it's going to be awesome. I did pull back the cast on edge. That part was true. It was not awesome. Cast on edges, it doesn't matter which end you pick it back from either. They don't just pick back. It is a slow process because you have to pull the yarn through every little loop that you created when you were casting on. Oh, I have a cat. Alright? That's the first thing you need to know. And so then I was like, okay, fine, I'll do that. And then it'll just, bzz, it'll rip. It'll, because I figured it's, if you turn knitting upside down, so like if your V's are this way and you turn them upside down, there's still V's the other direction. So I thought that it was just going to rip out easy peasy Japanesey. It did not. Did not. So I was like, am I doing something wrong? Is there some secret? No. No, my lovely viewers and friends. There is no secret. You don't just pick back from a cast on edge. You don't do it. What you end up doing, which is what I'm about to do, I thought I would show this to you before I did it so that you could learn from my mistakes and know in the future. Things that I've learned that you need to know to avoid my mistake in the future. 1, Cast on edges are an explicit term to rip back. Oh, there's Frodo. 2, stockinette stitch doesn't just rip from the bottom. 3, in order for ribbing to not curl, you can place a row of purls before you start your stockinette stitch. I will always be doing that row of purl before my stockinette stitch on any project from here on out. If it's going from ribbing and right into a lacy something or other, I don't think it's going to be a problem. And you know, if it's something this small, like the end of a sleeve, I don't think it's a problem. I did it here just so it's consistent between my sleeve and my ribbing at the bottom. But something, and fitted things I imagine probably wouldn't curl, but the way this hangs, it needs it. For me at least, this has been my experience. I don't know about anybody else out there that's knitted a boxy, because I just dove into it. Worsted boxy, just boom, dove right in. I don't know if I misread the directions and I was supposed to knit a longer ribbing and that would have fixed the problem. I don't know. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because right now I'm looking at a cast on edge that has been picked out and will not rip out. If you want to see it up close, I now have a cat in my lap too. He's not being helpful. So see what happens. I'm going to hide down here. Maybe it'll come on. There it goes. See how it's like you can see how your yarn goes through the stitch and you have to pull it like this to get it. Oh my god, it's such a pain. See how it like loops through it? Yeah. I'm not going to be doing that for a whole bunch of stitches. No. I can't believe I held in there through the cast on edge. So what you have to do, per knittinghelp.com, you have to go, after you pick up your stitches, go back and clip it. See, I didn't even have that far to go, man. So it's a little annoying. I'm about to do that now. Maybe I'll go ahead and do that and be back with you in a moment. Let you know how it goes. I'll be back. Okay, so I'm not done yet, but more bad news. Learn from my mistakes, guys. I got to this point of picking these stitches out, and I went, oh, I missed a stitch. I'll just put a lockable stitch marker in there. And then I got to the next stitch. Oh, I missed that one too. And oh, I jumped a row when I was picking up stitches. I so wish I had just said, okay, the ribbing will be fine. It'll be fine. I know in the end I'm going to like it. I'm going to wear it more because I'm going to like it better because it lays nice. Okay, back to the ribbing. Okay, it took me just a little longer than baby nap time to get that done. But here we are. So I have this little bit left. This is an end from something, I don't know, a join or something. Oh, this is from where I added on my second skein, I guess, before, because I was alternating skeins every row. So this is my little bit of yarn I have left. This is the hot mess, which was my ribbing, and I'm just garbage. I still have, pardon the lean, I still have all of this remaining. So I have quite a bit of yarn left, so I'm not concerned about that little bit in the garbage. But yeah, so learn from my mistake. It took me about an hour last night to pick out that cast on edge, about 5 minutes to learn that that was a ridiculous idea, and then another hour to pick back to there and talk to you. Maybe what I'll do, since I expect to get this part done in the next couple of days, today is November the 18th. Perhaps if I'm done with this before the end of the week, I'll come back and show you the finished project. God, I hope I'm done by the end of the week. It's not like it's freezing cold and I need the sweater right now. And while I was picking out that edge, I had a cat on my lap and this worsted Boxy out of Malabrigo worsted, and I started sweating a little bit. Let's see. I guess I could show you too, and this is the Garden Gate colorway from Malabrigo. I've had this yarn since 2011 or 12. It was, if you're just picking me back up after my hiatus a little bit, words and stuff and things. This used to be a sweater. It was the Girl Friday, and I never wore her, so I ripped her out, and now she's a Boxy. Almost. Oh, and there's another strand that I missed. But anyway, maybe this is the end. Maybe not. I don't even know. Hey guys, I'm back. It is now Friday, October the 21st, and guess what I finished? If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen it already. But I managed to complete the ribbing on the bottom of my Boxy. There it is. I think I bound off a little tight. I still have not blocked it yet. I think that may relax a little bit, but honestly, I don't think it matters. So, I'm going to put it on for you. I'm thinking the sleeves will probably grow a little bit. And honestly, I'm hoping the body grows lengthwise as opposed to widthwise, because it's already pretty wide. I finished it at work. I have a cat who likes to talk a lot. Let me go. I'm afraid he's going to wake up my child. Let me go put him somewhere where he can't do that. I'll be right back. Hey, okay, it worked out. I realized I'd forgotten my monitor anyway. So, it is, I finished it at work the other day, and the pharmacist that was sitting in the room that I was in said it's kind of big. It's like, well, it's supposed to be kind of big and slouchy and boxy. So, here it is. I have not woven any of my ends in yet. Guys, I'm in love with the colorway. This is Malabrigo worsted and colorway Garden Gate. I bought this in 2012. It was a Girl Friday, but it isn't anymore. Now it's a Boxy. I'm going to show it to you. Okay. How far back do I need to get? There it is. It's fabulous. Fabulous. So, I'm really, you know, it was a fantastic pattern, very easy to follow. So my elbow is here. I made the, oh gosh, what size did I make? Do you guys remember? Let me look. I'll let you look at it here. There it is. What size did I make? I made the medium. So it's extra small, small, medium. So I made the third smallest size. I made it in the seamless version. I used as called for 9s and 7s. I did not do a gauge swatch. On a big slouchy sweater like this, I didn't feel like it was very necessary. I did the seamless version. I followed the pattern exactly. So, things that I may do on the next one. There may be a next one. I have a sweater's quantity of fingering weight. So I may do a fingering version. I may not drink that Kool-Aid. We'll see. The next one, to mimic the neckline here, because it's just a rolled stockinette stitch neckline, I may not even rib the bottom and let the stockinette roll. We'll see. I don't know. I may do that. But I put it on immediately and worked in it for the rest of the night, sitting there doing the order entry at the hospital. And this part of my arm got chilly. So the next one I do, provided the next one happens, I'm gonna do maybe a 2x1 ribbing instead of a 1x1 ribbing, and work it for, the sleeve is 6 inches long. I would do another 4 or 5 inches of just ribbing. So, all the sweaters that have ribbing up to your elbow, that's kind of what I'd be going for, and just do that ribbing forever to cover up the rest of my arms. But, I kind of wish I'd made that ribbing a little bit longer. That ribbing could have been a little bit longer, but I think it'll be okay. No big deal. I love it. We'll see how I'll wear it through the winter. I still have some yarn left. I may make Isaac a sweater out of it, because this seems like a good boy set color. And I haven't made him a sweater. I'm a bad mommy. I'm not really. And I know Malabrigo worsted is a single, and it's not super wash, and I'm making it for a child. I hear ya. But got to do something with the leftovers. So I think I spoke with you guys last time, the last episode, about how I'm working on a WIP-down. And I'm sorry, I keep looking at my computer because I follow, what was her name? Is her name Stephanie of Space Cadet Creations on Pinterest. And I happen to have Pinterest open right now. And it looks like she's excited about crochet right now, because there are 3 very lovely crochet things at the top of my Pinterest feed. I need to just close that. Let's just close it. There we go. Okay. So I'm working on, like I was saying, I'm working on a WIP-down. And I finished this sweater, and I'm really excited. And what happens when I knit a sweater and finish it, I get super excited about knitting garments, and I want to cast another one on. But I want to do this WIP-down as well, right? Well, in my WIP-down, one of my WIPs is the Knitmore girls did what they called the spackle, the spin along, knit along. The first one was in 2012. And so I bought some Shetland, I think a pound of Shetland, and yeah, because I went ahead and just did 2.2 kilograms, so I got a pound of Shetland, spun it did a gauge swatch. And then it was the gauge I needed for the sweater I wanted to make at the time, which was Bailey's Irish Cream. And then I spun it into Loveliness. I'd supplied it into Loveliness to a gauge that would match that sweater. And I mean, with what I spun, I got dead on gauge, dead on for that sweater. See, there's my little lacy bit. I did a lacy bit over here. I did the stockinette bit over here. And that was, I started spinning in 2012. I think I finished spinning it in 2014, maybe. This is pitiful. I'm looking back at my notes on Ravelry about this project. So this is a Morit Shetland. Morit is the color. I finished spinning in 2013. I chose the Bailey's. No, I finished spinning the singles in 2013. I chose the Bailey's cardigan as my sweater. I test plied. I finished plying. I didn't mark down when I finished plying. I started plying it April 2014. I finally cast on that Bailey's August 30, 2014, and then January 2015 I found out I was pregnant, and I couldn't do that lacy cable-y business. Lace and cables wasn't in my cards. Well, now I have a post-baby body. I am coming down off the plateau. I lost a whole lot before I went back to work. But then I hadn't lost any more. I had been plus or minus 3 pounds of one number. I'm finally starting going to the gym 4 days a week, doing weight training with a little bit of cardio, counting my calories. I'm not doing the whole logging my exercise. I'm just counting my calories, the same number every day I'm taking in, and I'm finally starting to lose the rest of it. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there, because that cardigan, the size I'd chosen and everything, I wouldn't have worn it. And I'm not in a place where I want to knit cardigans right now. I want to knit pullovers. But here's my giant ball from where I ripped out what I had at the Bailey's. So that. And then I had started the sleeves as well for purse knitting, and this is where I ripped that out. And we're back ready to go. I was looking at, I'm going to make this. This is by Jane Richmond. It's in black and white, but you can pretty much get the gist of it. It's called Palladio, Palladio, who is a Renaissance era, I believe, Italian architect. I looked it up. I'm going to be keeping this project in my Whimsy Stitches bag that I got at Into the Wool. So here we go. So the way Jane Richmond wrote this pattern, it's pretty ingenious because she wants you to have a whole lot of different options for sizes. I found in my bag when I was emptying the bag out to get the Baileys out. And then in case I needed some protein, I also had some Special K protein bars. Oh, and I guess I could go ahead and throw my sleeves down in there too. when I started looking at the Bailey's and its yarn called for, and the Palladio and its yarn called for, those yarns knit up to the exact same gauge. The patterns call for the exact same gauge. No, they did not. The patterns called for slightly different gauges, but because I had hit the nail on the head with my gauge for that other pattern, I'm just going to, and the yarns knit up to the same gauge per the manufacturer, I'm just going to go ahead and not swatch this one and use the needles called for in this pattern. I think it'll be just fine. So Jane Richmond is brilliant because what you do is you choose your size and then you go to this chart. Oh, well, this chart tells you the measurements, the last one. And then this chart gives you the numbers for the measurements. And then I'm not going to be giving anything away because once you start getting into shaping and having different numbers and all that, you can see the little, beginning with round H, number, or blank, shape, body, by repeating rounds 1 through 40 below. And that's the way it's written. You have blanks, so you look at your size, or if you want to say knit a medium top and a large bottom, or a large top, or a medium bottom and a large top, or whatever, you can go in and fill those numbers in, do all your stuff. And she says to offer a wide range of sizes and maintain readability. It's written with blank spaces, so you may input only the information pertaining to your size. And I think that's brilliant. Thank you, Jane. So that's going to go down in here. I had not obviously really looked at that yet. And honestly, when I started looking at it, it says this pattern is designed for a slight bit of negative ease around the bust, and then it's A-line, so that you get kind of a bigger fit around the hips. And I know my chest is a little bit bigger than it was, so I'm just looking at this next size up from what I was, and I hope that works. I don't feel like actually measuring. So that. I have also the other, so I'm going to cast that on. I may do that in November for National Knit a Sweater Month. We'll see. But I also need to finish Isaac's Little Dinosaur. Since I still have a couple of weeks left of October, this is going to be the next thing that really gets focused. I haven't done anything since the last time you saw it, where I'm knitting one of my little flippers. I'm knitting the front and the back at the same time. So, we'll see how that goes. And I think that's about it. I don't have much more to say. I haven't done any spinning because it's been all boxy all the time. And I'm really pleased that I did that. I'm glad that I just went monogamous and did it. So, I guess that's all I have to say. And I'll see you probably in a couple of weeks. Thanks so much. Thanks for hanging in through this episode and the drama, which was the picking out the ribbing, which I'm glad I did it. It looks so much better than it did. So much better. But until next time, I hope all of your crafting goes as you plan, and I hope you have a fabulous fall. Bye, guys.
I just can't wait to finish. I got the kitten knitting blues. No, I just can't wait to finish. That's why I got those kitten knitting blues.